Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Patra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand all the latest cues from the D Street, starting from the benchmark index moves to sectoral action and all the stocks that are buzzing the most in trade today. Remember, today is historic because we've seen the markets inch at record levels. We do have fresh levels at which both the Sensex and the Nifty are trading at currently 18,971, 972 for the Nifty right now at 153 points of a jump for this one. A very solid trading session right ahead of the market holiday. 0.8% uptick for the Nifty and similar gains coming in on the Sensex as well. About a 500-point jump right there, inching closer to the 64,000 mark now. 63,916 currently for the Sensex at this point in time. And the broader market's doing well as well. So the mid caps and the small caps are also inching high. You can see them participate in today's trading session as well. The small cap 100 index up by about 0.4% odd. So you're seeing at 10,891 odd levels. The mid cap 100 index again, similar gains coming in for this one. 135 point jump there. 35,420 currently for the Nifty mid cap 100 index. Among the other sectors on the sectoral indices front, most of the sectors are actually trading in the green zone today. Let's talk about the banking space first, the Nifty Bank, and see how much that is contributing to the sentiment right now. 44,360, 0.6% of an upside for this one. So the banks are strong. Financial services among that, private banks, PSU banks, all of them up in trade and contributing to the gains. Most of the sectors, in fact, all of the sectors in the Nifty are actually trading in the green in today's trading session. The sharp move coming in from the Nifty Metals Pack, 1.4% uptick for this one. That's the index that is leading the most. Apart from this, the IT stocks are looking strong today, 0.6% of a move for that one as well. Apart from the banks, we're seeing some gains coming in on the auto pack as well. That's also up by about 0.6% odd in today's trading session. The consumer durables, they are up by 0.7%. Pharma up by 0.75% as well. Oil and gas, all of them in tow as well. So it's a broad-based buying action that you're seeing. On the Nifty gainers front, you do see a whole host of names coming in on the Nifty pack, especially when we talk about Adani Enterprises. That's inching higher at 2387, 4.5% up in trade. Adani Ports follows next. Adani Group stocks in focus amidst the news flow that more shares have been taken in by GQG and other buyers at this point in time. Tata Motors, SBI Life, Titan, the other gainers at this point, 1.5 to 2% uptick in trade today. Dr. Reddy's, IndusInd Bank and NTPC, all of them up by 1.5% each as well. So that's the kind of move that you've already spotted on the Nifty. On the downside, are there any stocks that are still down in trade on a day which is very strong? Yes, there are. You can see HDFC Life trading about 1.5% down in trade. Hero Moto down by 1.2%. Kotak Mahindra Bank also slightly sluggish at about 0.5% of losses coming in. But let's welcome our guest on the show. Avinash Gorakshakar joins in, Director Research at Profit Mart Securities. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Well, congratulations to you. Record highs after those many days. In fact, 5 failed attempts by the Nifty. Today, we finally have those record levels being seen here, and that's taken out in the first half of this calendar year. What is your expectation from the markets going forward? Do you see further legs to this rally, or are we already at the top level?
Yeah, I think Sakshi, first of all, congratulations to you and the entire team at your place, for the Nifty touching a new 52-week high. I think this was long awaited, and I think it's a good thing that the markets have finally crossed the new 52-week high level. But I think there are definitely several legs to this rally. My sense is that, we have seen very strong advanced tax numbers. So, in the month of July, we'll be seeing the first quarter numbers for FY24 rolling out. My sense is numbers will be very strong, and I think you could see a lot of stock specific action coming again. More importantly, from the flows perspective, the FII flows as well as the retail SIP money continues to be strong. And just a couple of days back, I believe yesterday, the current account deficit number came in. So, that also has given a lot of comfort to the market. And I think monsoons have arrived. So, there was a lot of concern
Yeah.
in the market that the monsoons were not coming. But I think this fear has also gone away. Hopefully, July should be a good month for the monsoons, and that should further re-rate the market. So, I think at least from a near-term perspective, I think we could be headed for higher levels. But yes, we should also not rule out some profit booking at around 19,050 or 19,100, because at these levels, maybe there could be a little bit of profit booking also.
Okay, understood that. It's taken 142 sessions for the Nifty to really hit these all-time high levels. How soon are we going to see that 19,000 mark coming in and fresh highs again to be seen? Now, perhaps that's the next mark that investors will be watching out for.
I think very soon. I think Sakshi 19,000 is very nearby, so I don't think it's going to be a very Herculean task. But
Right.
as I said, I think 19,050, 19,100 are levels where I think the markets you'll have to be a little cautious because that is one level where technically I think there could be some resistance. From a fundamental perspective, I think you could still find value even at these levels. I think it's all stock specific. So broadly, I think 19,000 should come in at least in the very near term. I mean, when it would actually come, it's difficult to precisely tell you, but yes, it would should come in, anytime soon.
Right. Now, strangely, for this last 2 or 3 months, when the markets have been constantly pushing to touch these all time high levels, we've seen that the large caps have been largely underperforming. There was a lot of exuberance in the broader market space, but especially these big cap names, the big weight, heavyweight counters like RIL or HDFC Twins, they've largely, underparticipated. Going forward, do you think they are going to actually take the lead now?
Yeah, I think my sense is, see, I think one should not go purely by the near-term momentum because, see, the sectors like automotive, capital goods, real estate, these are sectors which I feel Sakshi could positively surprise the markets, despite being the fact that valuations have run up there. So, numbers are going to be very rock solid. And I think if numbers come out very strong for the financial year FY24, then I think further re-rating, from these sectors is definitely looking promising. I think, of course, the mid cap and the small cap basket continues to be strong because the broader market is very, active, and we are seeing a lot of smaller companies reporting very good numbers. So I think
Yeah.
frontline companies would not be left behind. I think it's all sector specific, and I think you will probably see some action, once the first quarter numbers for FY24 are out.
Okay, understood. Any particular themes that you believe that the markets will be tracking in the next half of this calendar year, in the next leg of the rally? Which themes could outperform?
Yeah, I think domestic themes would continue to be in flavor, as I mentioned to you earlier also. But I think themes like pharma, themes like FMCG, the consumption kind of basket story. Basically, these are themes which have not performed well in the past, and I think pharma exports, especially the API companies which are in the API segment, should do pretty well. Fourth quarter numbers are also very rock solid, and FMCG as a pack is definitely showing strong signs. Hopefully, we have a good monsoon. Then I think you're going to see a lot of rural demand help these companies in generating good volume growth. So FMCG and the pharma pack, especially even the API and the frontline pharma companies could be contra bets, which could be interesting themes for the next, say, 6 to 8 months.
Okay, let's actually talk about some of the stocks that have really contributed to this run up so far. Now, we did see the March lows of on March 20th for the Nifty, and from that time until now, 11% is the kind of surge that the Nifty has clocked in already. For this year so far, about 4% gains have come in. But when we see from March 2023 lows for the markets, a lot of contribution has come in on the top weightage contribution wise. You can see RL, ICICI Bank, ITC, HDFC Bank and HDFC. These have actually contributed in terms of points when it comes to the kind of gains that have come in. How do you see, and which are the stocks from this basket that you believe will continue to outperform? Will ITC be again, front runner there?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of action from ITC because my sense is that even this year will be a very strong year for them. All their verticals, including cigarettes, which is their bread and butter business, is doing well. Most importantly, the hotel business, the FMCG business is doing very well. So I think you're going to see a lot of traction in ITC even from these levels. And the company's distribution policy has also been very liberal. Almost 80% of their profits are distributed. So it's a cash generating machine. So hopefully, if you have a slight long-term kind of perspective over the next, say, 12, 15 months, one could definitely expect a better, decent upside. And as far as the banking pack is concerned, I think HDFC Bank now, looks ready to fly.
Okay.
The announcement which came in yesterday, I think was very encouraging. July 13, the HDFC stock gets delisted. And I mean, the entity will now get consolidated as per all the approvals. So I think HDFC Bank looks interesting. I think this would also be a good outperformer in the next, say, 6 to 12 months.
Okay. When we also see as the top gainers front for the Nifty from March until now, HDFC Life, Tata Motors, IndusInd Bank, Divis Laboratories, Adani Enterprises and Bajaj Finance, they have been the top contributors in this kind of a rally from March until now for the Nifty as well. Your own thoughts on how the life insurance space stocks are placed at this point? Do you think there is enough to still look at these stocks at this current levels as well?
Yeah, I think the insurance market is doing pretty well, Sakshi, considering that, after COVID, there was a lot of demand drawdown, but I think things have got normalized now. And in the insurance market, I think clearly HDFC Life, stocks like ICICI Pru, SBI Life, I would believe that all these are doing very strong business and they have very strong balance sheets. So the scalability is very strong, but I think from a very near-term perspective, I would believe that, the investor who wants to get into insurance company should give a long-term horizon because these are not stocks which you should compare on a quarter to quarter basis. But nevertheless, I think it's a multi-year story. So next couple of years, if somebody is invested, I think definitely insurance business should do reasonably well, for investors.
Okay, understood that as well. How about the Adani Group stocks? We did see Gautam Adani specifying about the Hindenburg research report and the annual report, and now we are seeing again fresh buying action coming in from GQG investors, which is pushing the stocks higher. How do you see the Adani Group stocks panning out in this second half of calendar year?
I think it's a big sentimental booster. GKG has made its third round of buying, and I think it clearly shows that they're betting on businesses which are having hard assets and which have got very strong cash flows. And we believe that Adani Enterprises where they have invested, it's a holding company, but the real bigger trigger could come in companies like Adani Ports, which is an infra company. It's a business which has been been there for the last 20 years. Adani Wilmar is also there, and within the cement pack, companies like Ambuja, ACC. I would believe that such an investor who has got a slightly higher risk appetite, Sakshi, can definitely look at these companies because the volatility in these counters is going to be very high. So it's not meant for investors who want steady returns, but somebody who can take the risk and the volatility can definitely expect a better risk reward. So we are positive on certain stocks like Adani
Okay.
Ports, Adani Wilmar, and typically Adani Wilmar, which is a FMCG B2C business.
Okay. Um, we've seen the kind of rally on the Nifty has also the kind of bull run that we have displaced over the last 8 years is perhaps the longest bull trade when we compare with the kind of bull runs that we've seen across the globe as well for the Indian market. So that's also pretty encouraging. In fact, there are instances that are also display that for the last 20, 23 years odd, the markets, Indian markets have been in a constant bull run as well, barring 1 or 2 years where we have seen the disruption. But in the last 8 years period from 2016 until now, we've actually superseded in terms of the longest bull run when you compare it with the other global markets like the US markets, the Japanese market, the German markets or the Chinese markets as well, where they have just had a bull run of ranging between 3 to 6 years odd. Going forward, do you really expect this bull run to continue for a fairly long period even now for all those fresh investors who may be looking to enter the markets at this point in time? They may be actually at an anticipated level that the markets have already peaked at this point. Is this the right time for them to enter?
No, exactly. I think, Sakshi, let me tell you one thing that, for the first time now, the Indian markets are under the global radar and a
Yeah,
lot of liquidity from foreign funds is expected. And I think
yeah.
if you look at China, I would believe that a lot of money which was allocated to China is going to come to India. So liquidity is going to be very strong. Fortunately, our macro numbers are also one of the best across the globe. And I think the kind of policies the government is announcing, I think a lot of foreign investors are going to come with a lot of FDI, investments also in India. So I think despite the fact that the markets have touched a new high, I think my sense is this rally will not end. It's going to obviously see a little correction here and there, but a journey is definitely going to be upward. So I think somebody who's got a 3 to 4 year kind of timeline should obviously use any weakness or any correction as an opportunity. I think markets always make 52-week highs, but they also make new 52-week highs. So the market never looks at the old 52-week high. So I think it's a good opportunity for long-term investors who want to put their money and stay invested for the next 3 to 4 years.
All right, understood that. Well, many thanks, Mr. Gorak Shakar, then, for being with us on the show and discussing all these insights about markets at record levels and what do we expect going forward from here. Always a pleasure having you with us on Business Today TV. Well, the Sensex continues to hold those gains, 456 currently for the Sensex at 63,872. The Nifty also up by about 0.7% odd at 18,959 currently. So just just few points away from that 19K level, which could be seen anytime now. We are just virtually there, and the expectation is that the market may see some short-term profit booking, but the long-term uptrend may continue even going forward, and lots of opportunities exist for investors even at these levels in terms of stock-specific action. Continue to monitor the market movement for you, so do stay tuned with us onto Business Today TV to catch all the updates from the world of business and stock markets.
Infosys will buy Denmark-based Danske Bank's Information Technology Center in India as part of a $450